Take a deep breath in. And on the outward breath, that's it, close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, you can give all of your attention to the sound of my voice. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just get a sense that tension is leaving your body. As you breathe in and breathe out, scan your body for where you feel most tension. For some people, it's around the eyelids, around the temple. For others, it's the neck and the shoulders. Just imagine a scan going from head to toe so you can become aware of where the tension is for you. I want you to picture any tension in your body as crystals of ice, almost locked into your muscles. And then as you breathe in, imagine breathing in a warm feeling of resourceful relaxation that starts melting away that tension. Picture those crystals of ice there in those locations, melting, and then the water vapor leaves your body in your outward breath. So just by breathing in and breathing out, you're melting away that unnecessary tension, and you can feel it leaving your body in that outward breath, enabling you to go deeper and deeper, relaxed. Now, I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a park. I want you to imagine a park on a day in late spring, perhaps in May. And I want you to get a sense that maybe the sun is out. You can feel that spring warmth on your skin. And I want you to imagine that you are barefoot in the grass. Feel the grass in between your toes, on your feet. And I want you to feel grounded as you walk through that park barefoot. I want you to get a sense that even though the sun is out now, that this beautiful, luscious grass is there as a result of rain. That sometimes rain is not desirable. Sometimes it can be unpleasant. Sometimes the rain can be brutal in the middle of a storm. And yet, this beautiful grass that you're walking through now is as a result of that rain. In fact, there's many countries in the world that need to spend a fortune on complicated sprinklers to create what naturally took place in this park. Isn't it better to experience something in its natural environment, even if it's tough, if it then gives good things later? I want you to think about some of the best qualities that you have. And isn't it true that some of these best qualities came from tough times? The beautiful grass may have came from rain, and some of your determination, ambition, self-sufficiency also came from moments in your life that weren't the most pleasant, and yet they gave you things that you really value now. And if that feels like it's true, let me know by nodding your head. It's been said, but many people wish to avoid problems, avoid pressure, avoid stress, avoid adversity. But those with real ambition know that whatever they choose to do will give them those things. Someone launching a business knows that there will be problem after problem after problem. An entrepreneur does not wish for no problems. They wish for the skills, the temperament, and the resources to overcome them, knowing that each and every problem they overcome equips them for any similar problems in the future. A parent doesn't expect no problems from their child. They just trust that as they grow, they can figure out more and more ways to overcome those problems. I want you to find a place in this grass, in this park, where you feel like you could have a nap. Make yourself comfortable. And I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and you will imagine what it would be like to relax so deeply that you can imagine falling asleep there on that grass, in that park, under the sunshine. 10, just focusing on the muscles around your eyelids and your eyes. Noticing any tension and then releasing that tension. Now. 9, focusing on the muscles in your forehead. Thinking about the expressions of surprise or curiosity and realizing that they require muscle tension. And then just deciding to release any and all tension there in your forehead. Now. 8. Paying attention to any tension in the jaw, around the mouth. Breathing in that warm, resourceful feeling of relaxation and then exhaling and releasing that tension. Now. 7. Focusing on the muscles in your neck and your shoulders. Release that tension. 6. Your arms. 5. Your legs. 4. Your gut. All the way down. 3 to your toes. Just imagine what it would be like to completely release all of that tension now as you drift into a deep nap there on that grass in that park, almost feeling like you're in a different place at a different time, and having a nap so deep that you can drift into your own imagination and recall a tough time. I want you to think of a time in your life where the stakes were high. Maybe there was a tight deadline. Maybe there were high expectations. Maybe you were under-resourced. And when you can recall a time like that, just let me know by nodding your head. But I want you to recall that even though it was tough, even though there were big challenges, even though some would say it was an impossible challenge, I want you to recall that you had useful, empowering resources back then. I want you to scan your body for where that feeling of confidence that came from self-belief was. Notice where it was in your body and just point to that location. And then expand it. If it feels like it's moving, move it faster in that direction. If it feels like it's small, then make it grow until it's bigger. Amplify that feeling of self-belief. And if that self-belief came from recalling previous experiences, sometimes those previous experiences don't even have to be contextual. They can just be similar in patterns. So the very reason that we're visiting this memory right now is because this is a time in your life where the pressure was high, the resources were low, and yet you still felt resourceful. Which means this now becomes a previous experience to give the future version of you self-belief whenever you're in a situation where there are tough times, high expectations, and insufficient resources. I want you to scan your body for where you feel passion, a particular type of energy and motivation that comes from feeling and believing that you're doing something important and of value. Scan your body for where you feel that passion, and when you find it, just point to that location. That's it. I want you to imagine that passion is now a color and a shape, and make it a three-dimensional shape. Maybe a cube, a pyramid, a sphere. And now it's three-dimensional. You can get a sense of, is it moving? Could be pulsating. Passion normally has an energy, a vibrancy to it. And just with your hand, just show me how that shape is moving. That's it. And I want you to spin it faster in exactly the same direction, just a bit faster. Make that three-dimensional shape bigger. Make the color brighter and more vibrant until it starts to glow. Attach a sound to that feeling of passion. A sound, a phrase, a word. And then adjust the tonality or the volume of that sound, that phrase, so it increases the intensity of passion even more. And then realize that what could create more passion than having the courage to pursue your life's dream. And true courage comes from putting yourself in tough situations because it will help you in the long term. Therefore, when you're in those tough situations, you can't complain that it's tough, because you voluntarily put yourself in those tough positions because your passion guided you to it. Your intuition knew you needed to be in those tough situations to become more resilient, to become tougher, to become more valuable. Amplify that passion, and then realize that sometimes you need to zoom out and see the big picture. Realize that this point in your life is just a chapter in a big, thick book. It's just one scene in a long movie. I want you to get a sense that that chapter of that book or that scene in that movie is the equivalent of a montage in a Rocky movie. This is the bit where there's challenge after challenge. Nothing is winnable. It seems impossible. And yet, the resources are there. The spirit is unbreakable. The passion is there to provoke those that are doubters and naysayers. There are always people that want to see other people's spirits crushed, not realizing that what may crush one person's spirit strengthens the resolve of another. People have underestimated you your whole life, and this is just yet another time that you're being underestimated. The microaggressions are the equivalent of a blacksmith hammering a sword. It just makes it tougher. The passive aggression. All these things that you've seen and witnessed and experienced have been making you stronger, preparing you for future battles. carbon in a pencil is fragile. It easily breaks. The carbon in a diamond is unbreakable. The only difference between that carbon in a pencil and the carbon in a diamond is the external pressure that was put on that carbon. There was very little pressure ever put on the carbon in a pencil, and that's why it's cheap, disposable, breakable. The level of pressure put on a diamond is intense heat from lava. The intense pressure from tons and tons of heated earth forced onto this carbon, and yet something precious comes from it. It's the same metal used in a nail or a hammer as is what's used in a sword used in battle, except the sword is pounded and heated again and again and again until the sword becomes so strong that it's the most valuable in a life and death situation. I want you to get a sense that your intuition knew to put you in a tough time because it trusted your ability to handle it. There's a part of you thinking that you can't win. There's another part, a more intelligent part, that realizes that you can't lose. Someone else is paying to make you stronger, to make you smarter, to give you more experience that makes you wiser. Someone else is paying for you to learn all of the skills required that you can harness for your future endeavors. Either you win or you learn. The only way you can lose is if you quit. And even then, it's only if you quit and retreat. If you quit and move forward to pursue your own projects because you've taken and extracted all the value you possibly can, then quitting is strategic. You win or you learn. And when you learn, you're better equipped to face the next battle, to face the next adventure. Whatever happens, what's happening now will equip you for the future. In someone else's business, you'll be able to handle more pressure than the average person. That's what leaders are. And in your own business, you'll be equipped to not only manage your own resources, but empathize with the struggles of an entire team around you. Sometimes what is unpleasant is what is necessary. Nobody enjoys surgery. It's painful, unpleasant, but it has value in the long term. I want you to get a sense that what you're going through now prepares you for the future, makes you more valuable, stronger. And it may be just months or years where the very people doubting your ability now will be inspired or surprised at who you become. What breaks the spirit of one person strengthens it in another. You are unlocking the very resources required for you to be a diamond, a battle sword, an athlete training at altitude that then returns to the sea level at some point in the future. This doesn't need to be enjoyable, But it is easier to go through tough times when you realize they are serving you, not destroying you. They are strengthening you, not weakening you. All you need to do is to zoom out and see that this is just one chapter of a long book, one scene in a long movie. And the hero's journey requires adversity. It requires the feeling that the end goal is out of reach. It requires a temporary feeling of hopelessness. They always say, it's darkest before the dawn. And what if this is the chapter in your book where things are at its bleakest and toughest, but that's what's needed to unlock the qualities that were latent within you all this time? What if this was needed to unlock your true potential, to enable you to be the very best version of you? If your unconscious mind is ready to accept that this could be serving you, this could be strengthening you, this could be helping you in some strange way, just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine it's now just a few days in the future, and all those things that used to niggle you, annoy you, upset you, I want you to now perceive them that you're almost immune from them, because you realize when you can't be beaten, all of these things just make you stronger. I want you to imagine what they call Hell Week, when new recruits join an army, or the Marines, or any elite fighting unit. The purpose of that first week is to separate those with strong characters from those with weak characters. There is shouting, there is abuse, there is non-stop challenge after challenge, limited sleep, pain, misery in some cases. Because these drill sergeants know that it's those that will not be broken that are the future heroes. Once you accept that your will not be broken, that nothing will make you quit unless you decide, you become immune to a lot of these attempts, because you see them for what they are. Attempts to break you, attempts to chip away at your passion, your motivation. And once you see them for what they are, they bounce off like rubber bullets on a suit of armor. If your unconscious mind is ready to face the challenges ahead in a resourceful, empowered, passionate way, full of courage and strength, let me know by nodding your head. Find yourself back there, awakening from a nap in a grassy park. Walk around, but you feel lighter, you feel stronger, you can feel that passion there, you can feel that self-belief there. It feels that same frequency, that vibrancy. You feel that it's within you, and you feel that you can handle a lot more than you thought you could. And then you realize that the grass is just yet another example of something unpleasant that was needed to create something amazing. And then find yourself back in the present, listening to my voice. You're in your own body now, back in your room. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're in your own physical body at this precise moment in time. As very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, motivated, full of courage and passion, realizing that you are resilient, you are strong, and you will not be broken. There is no way that you're losing in this situation, because everything you will harness to help your future self. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.